In previous decades, many farmers and frontiersmen settled in the Great Plains due to the rich soil and steady rainfall that made growing crops a dependable way of life. The advent of new machinery like the reaper and the tractor made farming large plots of land much easier. But what many of these farmers failed to realize was that by continually tilling and growing on the same plots of land, they were actually depleting the soil of its nutrients. This alone would not necessarily spell disaster. But in 1931, just as the Great Depression was settling in throughout the country, a massive drought struck the plains. The effect of the drought was compounded by a record heat wave. Farmers had been struggling with food surpluses, high shipping rates, and low purchase prices for years, but now they were forced to watch their crops wither away before their eyes. The situation worsened. Gusting winds blew across the cracking, nutrient-stripped soil, causing blinding dust storms. Families were forced to take cover at the onslaught of the storms, and farm animals that were left exposed were often killed. The population was devastated, but only rain could offer relief. Rain did not come, and the region soon came to be called the Dust Bowl. When it looked like life in the plains couldn't get any harder, it did. Fueled by the hot, dry climate, plagues of locusts swarmed over the farmland, eating the leaves from every plant they passed. Farmers did what they could to feed their families, but as the drought persevered, farm prices steadily decreased, and the threat of bank foreclosure loomed. It became clear to many that moving west was the only option. California was unaffected by the drought and offered farming jobs to migrant workers who would do seasonal labor for low wages. Many former landowners from the Dust Bowl packed all their belongings into the family automobile and headed out west in search of this kind of labor. California farmers nicknamed the groups Okies, a derogatory term for people who came from the Oklahoma area. At first, there was work to be found, but as the drought wore on and more families left the plains, the jobs in California became harder to come by.